I was a gym owner in Southern California. So I had a consulting job. I did defense contracting, space cyber intelligence through a sub under Booz Allen. Hated that job, actually. Hated it so much that I ended up quitting and driving across the country, not telling anyone until I was halfway there because my dad was going to talk me out of it and be like, hey, you don't need to, like, let's just follow the path that we had.
Yeah.
And he was doing it because he just wanted to look out for my best. But I didn't want to do that. And so I showed up in California with no plan, showed up at a gym owner's gym and was like, hey, man, can you teach me? And he was like, I don't know, like, why are you here? I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Slept at his place.
How old were you at this time?
I was 22.
Okay.
Yeah, so I graduated a year early from a school in Tennessee. And then that way I kind of got a jump start on my career, saved my extra, money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had about $50,000 saved up when I was 22 to start a business, and I wanted to start a gym. And so that was because I was into fitness and I hated everything else. And so that was like, I guess I'll just do this. From there, I spent 12 weeks with that guy. He started work at 4 a.m. and worked until 4 p.m. 4 to 4 was his shift. And so I did that. And then I also stayed at the gym after that. Learned a little bit of the ropes, started a gym in Huntington Beach. Didn't have enough money for both. Slept on the floor there because, could only pay one rent.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's very similar to how I got started, dude. Very similar.
And it was by chance, I went to a weekend workshop 2 weeks before I started the gym. And it was this guy who was teaching something called Facebook ads. This is 2013. So I was like, talk about like stroke of luck, crazy, coincidence. And I was able to run Facebook ads to get like my first 25 members in the gym. And we were able to grow by 5,000 a month every month for the first 7 or 8 months. And at that point, I started bringing people in and getting a manager and all that stuff. And then it pretty much started working out. Opened a new location every 6 months after that until I had 5 locations. At that point, I met Layla. And I got asked to speak at this event. And like, I was not in that world. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm a gym owner. He's like, no, I want you to talk about how you're marketing for like brick and mortar. And I was like, all right, man.
Dude.
So I went up there and I was like, this is what I do. This is how. So I was able to open all my gyms at full capacity on the first day. That was kind of like the unique thing. So what I would do is I would sign the lease, put the deposit down, and then I'd start running ads immediately. And it would take me 30 days to open the gym. And so like I would spend $300 a day ish, and we were getting like 30 to 1 back on our ad spend.
That's
so we were making $100,000 in our first month. And so like, as the cash is coming in, I'm like buying flooring, and then I'm like painting the walls and like getting the equipment in. And like I had this whole order because I knew that like by the time the equipment got there, like I had to have the paint, like, all that kind of stuff. And so we'd open at full capacity, only using the cash that I got.
Bro, hold on. Those stories are the fucking ones that people love. Like we got plenty of time.
Okay.
Dude. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Just because I talk fast in the intro, like, dude, I love that. So you pre-sold the memberships, and then use the money to actually build the gym out.
So what I would do is we would do these challenges. We do these 6-week weight loss challenges, and the whole shtick was that it was free if they lost the weight. And so people would like basically bet on themselves. They'd bet $500, $600 that they would hit. I think it was 10% body. I changed the challenge, but it was like 10% of your body weight. So if you were 200, you lose 20 pounds, et cetera. And they had 6 weeks to do it. And they'd work out as many times as they wanted. We'd give them meal plans, grocery lists, food preparation instructions, eating out guides, all that kind of stuff. And so every week I'd sign up, 25, 30, 40 people. And this was all one-on-one consultation. So like I would do 20 to 25 consults a day, every day. And I did that for years. Even when I had my own gyms, like I still sold better because I just had more reps than the other guys.
Yeah.
So my guys would like set appointments for me. So I'd like every day I'd go, they had set like 3 days worth of appointments. So it was just like stack. And so you just get, get the reps in. And I always refer to that as like my Rocky cutscene. Like no one knew where I was, and I was just hitting the meat in the basement and just getting those repetitions in. And so anyways, I'd just have $5,000 to put down for the lease, and just enough money to start the ads. And for us, we'd get ads, we get leads for like $5, and we'd sell 1 out of 4 leads into a $600 thing. So it's like it would cost me $20, $25 to get a customer, and I'd make $600 upfront.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I'd sell them supplements, $200, $300 worth of supplements to go with the program that they just bought. And then the shtick was three weeks in of their 6 weeks, I'd be like, hey, Dorothy, let's be honest, you have more than 20 pounds to lose. What's your plan after this, thing's over? She's like, well, what's the ultimate goal? She's like, I just want to get to my high school weight. I was like, okay, so just so we're clear, that in the next 21 days, we're not going to do that, right? And she's like, no, I understand that. I was like, okay, so, but long-term's the goal? And she'd say yes. And I was like, all right, then you won the challenge. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, because you realize it's not about 6 weeks. And so I was like, so this is what I want to do for you. You have the $600. I was like, I want to credit towards the goal that you really have, which is the high school weight. I was like, I'm just going to put towards the year. And that way, like, you win today, you're one of us. Here's the t-shirt, you're part of the family now. And so I just set my membership at $50 higher than it was supposed to. And I usually ended up selling it for. So it was like $250 a month, got dropped down to $200 a month because I take the 600 divided by 12. And so that credited them $50 a month off. And just like that, we were able to go 600, $250 in subs. And then I'd be able to get the membership all in the first month. Compare that to the business model where someone's going like free month up front and then converts 1 out of 3 into a $99 a month membership.
Yeah.
My ability to convert cash so much faster was front loaded, so I could outspend everybody in my market, which is also why I could launch them all for no money out of pocket, because every day I'd spend 100, I get 2,000 back. And so that cash is what allowed me to open so quickly without having capital of my own as a young guy. And that's how I was able to scale.
That's awesome, dude. How
the hell did you think of that? What?
It's a long, so I'll tell you the story. So that gym owner that I went out to, right? So I Googled like successful, this whatever it was 10, 11, 12 years ago, Google like successful gym owner. And this guy had this like crappy HTML site and it said 7-figure Sam. All right. And I was like, cool, 7-figure Sam. I'm going to go talk to this guy. And so I get to California and he's got like a little group of gym owners that like all just share their stuff. It was just gym owners. And I didn't have a gym at the time. And I was like, is it even okay for me to be here? He was like, yeah, sure. And so that way I actually got to learn all the stuff that they had done wrong before I started my first gym. So I was like, oh, don't go too small because of this. I'm like, oh, don't go too big because of the rent. And like, hey, keep it under this per square foot. Like all these things that like I would have no idea. Like I would have known that. And so one guy was there and was like, hey, I got this promotion he was in Wilmington, so like south of LA. It was like, I've got this promotion that's like doing really well. And so he was doing this like 8-week thing. And what happened is some rich entrepreneur apparently was like, I won't pay for it. But he's like, but if I hit my goal, you give me my money back and you can use my testimonial and I'll like promote the shit out of you. And he's like, and the thing is like, he did that. And like all these other people were like, yeah, I want that thing. And so he was doing an 8-week thing. And so Sam started doing it at his place for his personal training side. And I was like apprenticing under Sam. And the thing is like, I just saw like the ratio of how many we could sell versus how many trainers we need. I was like, this doesn't like make sense. And I was like, what if we put it in the boot camp? Because then we could just put as many people as we want in there to get people going. He's like, you think people will pay $500? I was like, they care about the weight. They don't care about like what the experience was. And so I ran an ad with that. First was technically for Sam's spot. I ran the ad before we even knew that Facebook ads even worked. So the first ad I ran for Sam. And I can't remember what we spent, but we made money on it. And it was like, holy shit, this works. And so I sold the first 10 or 12 people or whatever at his gym. And then that's when I went to go plant my Huntington Beach spot.
That's awesome.
But it was like an iterative, like the first guy did 8 weeks and it was all about the testimonial thing. Sam cut it to 6 weeks and it was all about personal training. And then I added in like a nutrition template thing. So I templated so it was like faster to move through people and made it one-to-many rather than one-on-one. And that was kind of like and added Facebook ads to it. So like, that's when those came together is when it just like blew up.